ABC of MTG in 60 seconds. F is for Fledgling. In the history of Magic, there have been 7 fledglings, baby birds that have just grown the feathers to let them fly. The Magic the Gathering fledglings are all creatures with or sometimes with flying, the baby versions of their bigger, deadlier flying brethren. Most of the fledglings don't start with flying, but learn to fly when a player does something, from enchanting it, to discarding a card, to having a land enter the battlefield. It's particularly nice flavour when these creatures only sometimes have flying, showing a baby creature only able to control its flight in fits and spurts. The most fun is Fledgling Dragon, who when you reach the threshold of cards in Graveyard literally grows to become a Shivan dragon in all but name. And then there's Fledgling Morka, a slightly smaller version of its big sister Morka, whatever a Morka is. ABC of MTG in 60 seconds. G is for Giant Oyster. You were strolling all alone along a quite empty shoreline. The gentle waves lap on the sand. It's peaceful and calming. You look to cool your heels and set foot in the water, but suddenly you lose your footing as the sand gives way beneath you. You immediately feel a crunch on your thighs as they are clamped between what looks like 2 pieces of weed-covered bone. You're trapped in the maw of a giant oyster, the sort the fishermen sometimes talk about. You scream, you shout, you wave your arms to the sky, but not even a seagull comes past. As the hours pass, you realise you're done for. No one ever comes here. At least when the time comes, you know you'll be able to get your own back against that accursed oyster. ABC of MTG in 60 seconds. H is for Hunted. The Hunted cycle is a cycle of creatures from Ravnica City of Guilds, depicting large, powerful monsters being hunted by bands of smaller creatures. Through name, art and mechanics, each card manages to tell an entire story of its own. Hunted Dragon, the classic tale of a fierce dragon being hunted by noble knights. Hunted Lamassu, an ancient winged bull creature forever chased by its eternal enemies. Hunted Horror, a writhing being of the dark, brought to heel by a group of hardened centaur warriors. Hunted Troll, a brutish troll being pursued by a flight of pesky fairies. And Hunted Phantasm, an ethereal spirit being quite ineffectively harassed by a gaggle of goblins. It can't be blocked, get it? ABC of MTG in 60 seconds. I is for Implements of Sacrifice. The art depicts an obsidian dagger and bowl, and the flavour text refers to the terrible feats that these objects have performed. But the mechanics don't match the flavour at all, as the implements don't require you to enact a terrible act to obtain an ill-gotten gain. No, rather than sacrifice another person or thing, you just sacrifice the implements to themselves to get, well, a pretty minor benefit. But one thing about this card is absolutely terrifying, and it's the everyday mundanity of the subject of the art. The woman wielding the implements may well be someone you know, someone close to you, your neighbour, or your kooky aunt. You know, the one who reads horoscopes during the day and sacrifices children to her dark lord at night. ABC of MTG in 60 seconds. J is for Joven. Joven and Friends are a set of underwhelming cards, but they do show how Magic the Gathering can create a character and indeed a world. Joven, the scallywag thief who looks like a pro wrestler at a Renaissance fair. He's got tools to help him get anywhere, except through brick walls. And he's got pet ferrets that just tie people up, one of his distraction tactics. And don't forget his partner in crime, the very 90s looking and sounding Chandler. Though I'm not sure about Joven's ability. He's meant to be a master thief, but his ability doesn't steal artifacts, it destroys them. My headcanon is that he's just so big and burly, once he steals an item, he just crushes it between his massive biceps. Thanks for joining us on MTG Flavour Source. If you like what you see, please like, share or subscribe. See ya!